Yes, it does.
Admin.
It's 7 o'clock.
Is it? Okay.
They need to be moved. I think it's fall.
Because I was wondering, because this one's icy.
All right, we'll call the Harford Township reorganizational meeting for January 2015 to order. And we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll do an appointment of temporary chairman. I'll nominate Conrad Owens as temporary chairman.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Excuse me.
appointment of temporary secretary.
I'll nominate Sue.
I'll second that. All right, nominations for chairman. I nominate Doug Phelps.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay, nominations for vice chairman for 2015. I'll nominate Conrad.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Was that a yes?
Aye.
Oh, okay.
This one will look like it was a vote, so.
Appoint secretary treasurer.
Two firms.
Okay.
Not here, whatever.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Assistant secretary Carolyn James.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Reappointment of the current employees, full-timers Jim Phelps, Harry Buchanan, and Carl Powell, with Jim Phelps being roadmaster.
I'll second that.
Actually, I'm not making the original, I was just reading it. Okay, are you gonna make a motion then?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Okay. Can you second that?
Oh, yes, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No, I'm abstaining. Part-time, Holly Adams, Wayne Federici, Conrad Owens, Doug Phelps, Jerry Yashinsky.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion pass,
I was just thinking we should all abstain from that, but that's okay.
right? Appoint new part-time employee, Andrew Brigham. We brought him in for an interview. And he will help us out for the winter season.
Huh?
Where does he live?
He lives down in Lennox. He drives for Masters down here. I figured we needed one more experienced truck driver to plow snow. He was pretty disappointed Saturday night when I didn't call him to come in. He wanted to come out and play, but hadn't done anything for 2 days.
Actually, it would have been a good time for it to break in.
Yeah, I know.
Just get them to ride around with you, see what it's like in the dark.
I know he was disappointed.
I'll make the motion that we bring them in for part-time.
I'll second.
Okay, we have the motion second, all in favor? Aye. Okay, the treasurer's bond. Currently at $150 million, right?
Yes.
Is that sufficient? And does that cover both you and Carol?
No, it won't go to Carolyn. She would have to do her own application, which I'm sure would be a problem because she's bonded through Thompson, the same company. Or with DGK anyways. But she doesn't sign,
Yeah, she's actually,
Checks.
she isn't actually the treasurer, so.
right, she doesn't.
No, that's
She
right,
doesn't
she's
have
on the
sign
secretary.
capability.
All right.
I'll make a motion to take that.
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. Township Legal Counsel.
I make a motion for Crutter, Brooks, and Hailstone.
No second.
Do we want Jamie Hailstone as attorney of record or?
Do, I think it's primary. Would you be in the secondary?
I'll add that to my motion.
What's the name of the secondary? Can you say it again?
Drew?
Drew?
Drew Hailstone.
Oh, there's another hailstone?
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Did we have a second?
Oh, you know what, maybe we didn't. I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Emergency Management Coordinator? Wayne Federici was our current one, right? And he is stepping down.
Yes.
We didn't have one to pick from.
Let me,
If we don't have one, it falls to the chairman of the board. I'm sorry, that's what I have read several times.
You better find someone fast, dude.
I was gonna say, let me do some checking around.
Table.
Yes, we'll table that one. Chairman of the Vacancy Board?
I nominate Dorothy.
And I accept. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. And thank you again.
You're welcome.
Select depositories.
I'll
People's
select
Security
People's
Bank and
Security,
Trust?
Yeah. How about? Any branch. I usually go.
No, but I mean, people's securities.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
securities.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You made that motion.
I made the motion.
No second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the monthly meetings. It'll be good to keep them on the second Tuesday.
For now, yeah.
At 7 o'clock?
Yeah.
Alright. Monthly meetings will continue to be on the second Tuesday of the month at 7 o'clock here at the Township building.
You have a motion for that?
That's my motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Yeah,
We need-
I'll look at that calendar.
Can you see it or you want
Okay.
to take the?
Employee holidays.
We give them Good Friday off
I
or
was
something?
gonna say, Easter's the 5th.
We don't do Easter.
We
No.
don't do Good Friday, no,
No, we never have.
never really do.
The first one would be.
Memorial Day, the 25th of May.
The January 1st? January 1st?
Yeah, 1st of January.
Yeah.
4th of July.
And the 1st is Friday. Okay. And 4th of July,
Mm-hmm.
Labor Day.
Well, now wait, 4th of July is on Saturday.
Oh,
So what, we give
Give
them the
them
third,
the
third
give
and
them
the
the 3rd, yeah. September 7th.
Do they want, do they want to do like they did this year and come in the Friday after Thanksgiving?
It's Thanksgiving this year.
Well, I think Jimmy said something about they would rather have the day after Christmas off than the day after Thanksgiving or something.
Well, Christmas is on a Friday this year.
But they wanted Christmas Eve off this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what he told me. They didn't so much care about Thanksgiving, it was Christmas.
Today's Thanksgiving, another one.
Give them 24th and 25th.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Christmas is on Friday,
And then New Year's, they did a half a day. But that, I don't know if they took time off on New Year's Eve.
I think they were here half of the New Year's, weren't they? New Year's Eve, I mean.
I think so.
All right, then we'll do,
Wasn't the
well,
weather?
we got the first, we started out with the first, so.
Wasn't the weather sketchy New Year's Eve or something?
Right now, we can leave.
It was. No, that was Christmas Eve.
I know there was one night I got called up in Wow, so.
How many is that?
I don't know. What was it? Seven.
I don't remember.
What
One
day
day
was
I got
Thanksgiving?
called out, helping them out.
November what? 26.
Looks like it.
That's what we did this
So
year.
that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. And a half a day on the 31st, 7.5 days?
No, that's, they work that out with their personal time.
Okay, so they get 7 holidays?
Yes.
Thank you.
We good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with it. Make a motion?
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a motion. that we take those days.
Second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Voting delegate to the PSAT's annual conference, April 19th through the 22nd. And I believe Conrad, you had that last year.
Yeah.
Make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Conrad's going. Conrad is going.
Okay, is there any old business for the reorganization?
As far as I know.
Any public comment from the reorganizational meeting? Okay. Make a motion to adjourn the reorganizational meeting.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's done for me.
All right, we will call the regular monthly meeting of the Harford Township Supervisors to order for January 5th, 2015. And we'll review the minutes of December 9th. Time's okay.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion that we accept the minutes as printed for December 9th, 2014.
I'll accept it, or I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. The bill list up to December 31st, 2014.
With taxes?
It was, the auditors like it to be paid up at the end of the year. So that was from September to the end of December.
Any questions on that one?
Who's Cleveland Brothers 1900
The servicing of the ACLA.
for? Oh, all right.
We got the title today for the Dodge.
What's that?
Oh,
We
okay.
paid the final payment on the Dodge and we got the title today.
Good. We owe nobody nothing now.
Except the sewer.
Okay, if there's no other questions, I'll make a motion that we accept the bill list for December 31st.
I'll second
All in favor?
it. Aye.
Aye. Okay, the bill list for January 5th, 2015.
Who's site specific design?
That's for the sewer. And with
Alright.
That's
or no, that's,
that's a pump.
Oh, that was for the pumps.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was the other one I saw that I didn't know who it was?
Rocky maybe?
No, I knew Rocky was there. Something, I think it was Tucker or something, isn't it? No, I can't find it.
Yeah.
Oh, Prasky and Tucker, their radios.
Oh,
And
okay.
they, remember the Dodge was,
Yeah. There's a, I guess it works a little bit now.
okay, Conrad made a motion, motion that they accept it. I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. The treasurer's report will be available at next month's meeting. Final close out. Do we have any questions from what we've covered so far? Okay, if not, we'll move into the road report. Approved driveway permits for Decker and Ferguson.
These are the ones that Jim, you and Jim, Richard.
I'm surprised there wasn't one for that one.
Oh.
There's not one for the Decker.
Oh. No, I guess not.
And there's also the noise ordinance waiver application for the Ferguson well pit.
How long that'll be for?
A year. Yeah, we found any
No,
objections?
no. They're gonna go off Bartholomew.
Mhm.
Okay.
That one in. That's for the driveway.
Okay, those are this one.
Anybody have any old business? New business, resolution for the sewer rate increase. I'll make a motion that we do the resolution for sewer rate increase, and it would be number 1-15.
And a second.
And it's going up $2 per quarter, right? So the total would be $125 per quarter per EDU. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Review ordinance for advertising?
Yes. Well, we would have to advertise it before we pass it, and,
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna suggest that we send it down to Jamie, just to review. It's something that we have done ever since I've been here, but PSATS wants the ordinance now.
Yeah, I would be in favor of that. So we will table. Table that one. Okay, Jen, do you have anything else?
I don't
Karen,
have
do you have
anything.
anything else?
Read this first, so I understand.
Okay. Okay. Public comment?
Well, I'm here on that compressor station above me.
Okay.
It's running right now, and it's tabled. It's been tabled, we got it tabled on the 30th. So why is this thing running?
Yeah, it's up to the county.
All right,
We don't have the power to shut the compressor station down.
In the enforcement code, there's several different actions, but yeah, now we can take it to a just district magistrate, and the power to sue is also part of the enforcement code of the noise ordinance. Just if they don't comply with what you tell them to, the township can sue or take it to the district magistrate. There's a number of different enforcement ways to enforce that noise ordinance. I'd like to also comment saying that in no way do we want to hinder or compromise the economic growth in the township. And you'll notice I found some information of cost-effective, that's not very expensive, that they've done in other areas that reduce the sound to acceptable levels for other noise ordinances in other boroughs and townships. And there's lots of different cost-effective ways. And yeah, I'd just like to make it clear that we don't want to hurt, we want to be good neighbors to Williams, and we would just like to help them be good neighbors, because it might be 50 to 100 years now, and we'd hate to have where you can't camp outside, where my father's, it's in their bedroom, it vibrates, it like, and keep it up, keep them up, and he can't, with his brain surgery and seizures, he can't be kept up all night.
Well, that's what happened. I had to go back to the doctor because that thing's been on 24/7. Now, they had to give me more seizure medicine, and now I'm noise sensitive. So any of the noise now.
And he talked to Williams quite a few times, we didn't want to have to bring it to the township.
I brought Williams to my house to show me the MRI of the brain. I totally explained to him what that section of the brain does. And
That we would like them to take different.
I'm much better when I talk this out of my car. You know, that's where I got it.
Well, I don't think they want to pay attention until they have to. We didn't really want to bring it to the township level, but we want to be good neighbors, we don't want to.
Well, the complaint that you brought in last week,
Right.
that was sent down to our attorney as well as the noise ordinances that we have. And he is reviewing everything, and he's gonna be getting back in touch with us to advise us as supervisors as to what our next step will be and where to go.
All right, so I gotta call the county on the problem with that compressor station running.
Well, it's being tabled, yeah.
Well, it's tabled.
I think.
Yeah, well,
About that.
my understanding on that would be, they wanted their final permit is what
Right.
they were after.
Right.
Final
It's
approval.
been up and running, so
Right, we
they're
know
not
that.
gonna shut it down. I wouldn't think that they would shut it down right now because they're tabling their
Final approval.
permit until they do whatever they do.
Yeah, until they
I'm
conform.
familiar with.
Yeah,
Well,
they said it was until they conform with local regulations, then they'll give them final approval, they said. But first, I guess according to state law, any industry has to conform to their local regulations, especially on a special, what was it, what do you call it? Special, noise ordinance is a special, I forget, you got a term for it. But that supersedes the county and the noise ordinance, the township level, so when they come in compliance with the township, then they get final approval and run it full time. And we don't have any problem with them running it, we want them to run it, of course, it helps our neighbors and everything else. But we would just like them to take some of there's a website I printed off, and there's some evidence from what Tennessee Gas did. They got experimental with cost-effective ways, and they found ways that wouldn't hinder their profits or anything. It was not a lot of money to do. And so if those things could be, I'm sure they could meet Harford Township's noise ordinance at that point, get final approval, and everybody'd be happy. Because it is, I don't think we would be complaining if it wasn't for long-term, and seeing as how it could be 50 to 100 years every night, we would just like to ensure that 50 years from now, we're not still hearing that all night.
and I'm sure none of you folks would like to have to take seizure medicine and lose blocks
Yeah.
of time.
Nobody
You
would.
know, I mean, I'm not, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not being unreasonable here.
All right.
You know, I mean, I have doctors that can come in and tell you the same thing. You know, I can't drive no longer, and to me, it's not reasonable no longer, you know?
So I'd like to thank you guys
Well, as
for
soon as
working
we
with us.
hear back from him, and he gives us the advice of,
All right, well, my understanding on the table, when they're tabled,
Oh, yeah, we have to
they're
bring it
not
up with the
supposed to
county.
be worked.
Yeah, we'll have to bring that up with the
That's
county.
supposed to be shut.
Well,
down.
that's kind of their gig, not ours.
Right.
They're the zoning ordinance to
Well,
this.
I'll
We don't have
contact
a
them
zoning
tomorrow.
ordinance, so that's strictly up to them what they do.
They'll have to decide about the table thing, but I thank you guys for helping us and working with us and helping the citizens ensure their health and welfare.
Now, as far as this thing here goes, this is what you looked up.
Yeah, that's what Tennessee Gas did. in
Did,
the area.
You ever give this to Mike Atchie so he can see it?
No.
He doesn't answer the phone calls, the man will
Not
not
recently.
come and talk to us. I mean, I've tried and.
No, he told us that Southwest can soundproof it all together, and that's when we started looking into it, but we haven't had contact with him since he's told us about Southwest doing it, and I couldn't find I'm sure it's there somewhere on the internet about Southwest doing it, but this is what I found. And if you'll notice, on the other side, I think I have pulled it over, there's a website. Oh, it was on the other side of the one I gave
I
earlier.
found this one in my folder, so.
Oh, Tennessee? Yeah, on the one with the red, you'll notice it's flipped over, there's a website there, and they'll have find lots of different resources. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I did not, okay.
You'll find lots of different resources on www All Noise Control. There's lots of cost-effective ones too. We wouldn't want to hinder them, like saying, you know, you have to use this system that costs outrageous amounts of money.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't know what my colleagues think, but I'll make a deal with you. But don't be bugging me about it. I will call Mike Atchie and bring this up to him, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
And make no promises.
Great.
I'll just tell him it's here,
Great.
and I'll mail it to him, or if he wants to pick it up, or if he wants to look on the website. But, you know, don't call me tomorrow and ask me what happened, because I don't know when I'll get a hold of him.
Right.
You know, I have a lot of
Good
things I have to do
Well,
otherwise.
Yeah.
Good luck to you, because when I mentioned the whole brain deal with him, I told him
He's not
that,
contacting us, but
that
he'll have
they
to do better
could
about contacting
count
him than we do, I'm sure.
that technology was there, but like I said, I might better went out and talk to you inside that barn.
But yeah, no, I
That's
appreciate
what I
that.
got. He
Thank
said,
you.
oh, call me if you have any more problems. I called him, no response. I called him, no response. So finally, I just said, well, there's no sense in me trying to call this man.
Well, he's out of town a great deal of time. I just happened to catch him the other day, so. I'll bring this up to him, okay?
Actually, both of us will be trying to contact them, because I got some questions.
I'm not making you any promises. I'm not telling you anything's gonna happen, but I will bring this up to him,
Great, I
okay?
appreciate that, thank you. Yeah, thank you guys for working.
All right, well, we'll go back there now.
Yeah,
About
that's
the
pretty much
table.
where your next stop is.
About the tabling deal, we will. Yep.
Our attorneys have to advise us on what we can or
Right.
can't do.
Right.
We don't know what the deal's gonna be,
Right.
you know, until they talk
Yeah,
to
we
us.
have to wait till next
God
step.
knows when they'll talk to us, you know, it's their attorneys, they get, you know,
Take a
can
long
go on
time.
for, you know, because they're gonna talk to each other, you know, the county solicitor, our solicitor, probably Williams' attorney will be talked to, you know, there's gonna be a lot of people getting talked to in the meantime, so.
Well, thank you guys for working with us.
I'd like to make a comment too. I'd just like to ask, Williams did a noise survey on the Miller compressor station a couple of months ago, and they based it on the county noise ordinance. And they submitted the papers, you may have a copy of it. Why didn't they base it on your local
Because the county
township
is the zoning
ordinance?
ordinance, that's who they'll go by.
Excuse me, say it
The
again?
county is the zoning ordinance to it, that's who they'll go by.
Not supposed to be with the.
No, not a clue.
Now, actually, when all this stuff started taking place, our attorney got consulted, and there was some misunderstandings, conflicts, whatever, at that time. And this compressor station was built under the county's noise ordinance.
And why was it built under there? When was it built? What year was it built?
Well, it was finished up this year.
And when was it
But when
started?
they were in,
Like
you know, I don't know if it was
2013
13 or 14 that they were in.
Yeah, I think they went for their first approval a long time before they started running it, like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago.
Probably, yeah.
And so,
But
the
your-
noise is the big thing. And
Your
at the time,
noise
we got their
ordinance
first,
is from 2010 and 2011, which is before Williams came in
Right.
here, asking for a
Okay,
compressor
May
station.
5th of 2014. As you are aware, Hartford does not have a zoning ordinance but relies on the Susquehanna County zoning ordinance. The provisions of that ordinance as to noise levels should be followed rather than Hartford's noise ordinance. I have advised Hartford that the county zoning ordinance takes precedence, and that was from the attorney.
Which
So
attorney,
when
which
this compressor
attorney,
station was built,
which attorney wrote that?
That would be our
it was,
Because I approached our attorney when this started up about our noise ordinance. Our noise ordinance wasn't engineered, so it was tight. It was just, you know, they just didn't feel they could make it. So I
Yeah,
contacted our
zoning-
attorney, and our attorney said that it'd be better to go with Susquehanna's because it would be too hard for us to enforce ours.
This was in the paper, and then voted on.
Yeah, it's a legal ordinance.
Ordinance in?
But
That's the way I understand it.
how does it skip, like the township ordinance? How do you legally skip over
I
the
don't
township and go
know.
with the?
I'm not a lawyer.
But what did he say of the, he advised that the zoning takes precedence over the local noise ordinance?
they said Hartford does not have a zoning ordinance but relies on the Susquehanna County zoning ordinance.
Right. It's kind of
Provision of that ordinance as to noise levels should be followed
should follow.
for
Yeah,
the
that's.
counties.
Can we have a copy of that letter? Is that a public record? Can we have a copy of that?
That we would have to ask the attorneys if that's.
We can check with the attorney and see if it is public record. Since
And-
it is legal, you know.
Because you do have a noise ordinance, you have two of them on record. And those are noise ordinances that you voted on as a group.
That's what the planning commission found was a special purpose.
And that's
noise
why it
ordinance,
was
but
tabled,
in this,
because you
in
have a
fact,
noise
It
ordinance.
takes precedence over the zoning, so
Right.
they had no zoning rights over the noise ordinance, it's a special purpose ordinance, they said. And if any industry would have to conform to special purpose ordinances like
Mhm.
this one in order to get final approval. So they'll be looking to comply with your stuff.
Well, see, that's why the attorneys are talking to each other right now, because
Yeah.
no one really knows for sure.
Yeah, it's the state law, it's the
This-
special.
This thing was basically unengineered the industrial ones. It was written by another
The
supervisor.
industrial one, the second one, right?
Yeah, I wasn't even
Yeah.
here when
Yeah, I
it
know who
happened.
wrote
I'm the
it.
one, I walked into this in the middle of this when they first came here, and I didn't know what they were talking about, so I contacted the attorney and asked him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who wrote it, I'm hearing.
But it was, see, it wasn't engineered, it should have been something that was engineered, because it was,
It has all the right things in
it was
there.
actually aimed at something other than compressor station.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Names industry in the first one too, so.
Yeah, it
notice
should have been a little more clear of what it named, it just named everything.
And everything, so that
You
means
know.
everything would have to, but they have the relationship with other restrictions in there. And the part that says if any one part is found illegal, it can't find the rest of it illegal. So it has a lot of coverage of protecting
Oh, yeah,
itself.
it's got a lot of stuff, and
There's
that's
a lot of
why we
protections.
contacted the attorneys and we're waiting for an answer from them
Yeah.
then. As I say, we just
Yeah, of
can't
course,
step
right.
into this. It
Yeah,
would have
but
to go,
the-
it would have to go to court before we could do anything about it anyway.
Right, yeah, this is real pretty.
You know, and we're dealing with one huge outfit, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
If we took them on, it would be, I wouldn't be in office anymore by the time that happened probably.
yeah, they won't, I don't think
And
there'll
why
have to be
wouldn't
any
you be in
taken on
office?
because of the
My
noise
term
ordinance.
runs out 2020.
Oh.
This could take 10 years or more if you're gonna take on a corporation like that. They got, you know, money and lawyers, and
Yeah,
we're nobody.
yeah, well, it shouldn't have to, like, with the way the noise ordinance is.
As
don't
I
think
say,
it'll be tied to
we'll wait
litigation.
for the attorney's answers,
Right,
and then
of
we'll
course.
make a decision.
Yeah.
There's no decision gonna be made until we've talked, and probably no more conversation other than this,
Right,
until the attorney's, you know,
you get back,
decision.
yeah, of course.
Until they advise us or whatever happens, you know, I don't know. But it's strictly their ballgame right now. This is all legal.
Yeah, wanna know what's legal. The solicitors
You know,
say-
I'm not a lawyer. I can't just come out and say, okay, this is what we're gonna do, because,
Right,
you know.
yeah, well, I appreciate you guys working with us on this.
I have another question. You mentioned something about advertising an ordinance in the paper. What ordinance are you talking about? When you just mentioned that during the meeting?
Oh, that's the advertising.
No, this is through PSATs with the unemployment.
Oh, for unemployment?
Yeah.
And then you mentioned also a noise ordinance waiver application for the Ferguson wellhead. So what does that actually mean? What do
That
you,
means we give them a waiver for a year for drilling operations.
Yeah.
so that means they have no noise restrictions for a year while they're drilling?
Right.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, they don't have to, yeah.
It's a very reasonable noise ordinance, really.
So you're able to give waivers for some industrial work like drilling, gas
That's
drilling,
temporary.
for temporary? Did you give a waiver to Miller compressor station, to Williams Company? Did you give them a waiver?
I wouldn't know that.
No, it would be a
I
temporary
know that
waiver
the
anyway.
Delucia well pad did. I don't know if the compressor station had applied for one or not.
So you're
But with
not,
the
you're not,
compressor station and the well, there's totally different things going on.
right, right.
And building of the compressor station is relatively quiet. But I don't know for sure, I'd have to look back in the records.
Have you had any other complaints from any other residents near that compressor station while it's been running the past few months?
Not to my
Not that
knowledge,
I'm
yeah.
aware of, no.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Okay. Any other comments? If not, make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
7:44. All in favor?
I'll talk to you for a minute before you take off.
You certainly can.
Thank you.
All right.
Aye.
I'm lucky the meeting is over.
Hey, thanks again.
Well,
Have a nice
it's 8
evening.
o'clock yet.
I'm not living the week.
Take it easy.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
It's not 8 o'clock yet, you still got 15.
No, I know. That's what I said.
Whatever you watch on
First
TV.
time.
Excuse me, what is your name with the Vikings shirt?
Doug Phelps,
You're Doug Phelps, and the other gentleman's name is what?
Conrad Owens.
Oh, that's Conrad? Oh, okay. And you're Sue Furney?